In this video, I'm going to tell you what you need to know if you're moving or relocating to right here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Hey, thanks so much for watching. My name is Matt Moore. I'm a real estate agent right here in the Lancaster County area with Keller Williams. And I've been doing these videos on living in Lancaster, some of the pros and cons and things like that, all things Lancaster. So I've got more videos and more content coming all about Lancaster and Lancaster County. So if you're interested in learning more, you want to be alerted when the new videos drop, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button and then the alarm bell to go along with that, and you'll be the first one to know when one of those new videos comes out. I'm honestly helping people from all over the world who are relocating right here to the Lancaster area. And if that's you, well, I'd love to get connected with you. So call me, shoot me a text message, send me an email, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, it doesn't really matter. I would love to get connected with you in any way, shape, or form. I've got your back when it comes to relocating or moving to right here in Lancaster County. So if you're moving to this area, this video is for you. I've got 9 things you need to know when relocating right here into the Lancaster area. All right, first things first, and you've probably already heard me say it, it is pronounced Lancaster, not Lancaster. The number one way to blend in is to pronounce it Lancaster. That's it. Nothing gives away somebody from out of town or somebody that may be new here other than that pronunciation. Lancaster is somewhere you'd find out in Ohio. There's also a Lancaster, California, but here in Pennsylvania, even though it's spelled the same, it is pronounced Lancaster. The second thing you should know about the Lancaster County area is the demographics. And I say that because, well, we've got some interesting stats going our way here when it comes to all the counties across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. First and foremost, Lancaster County has a population of just shy of 550,000 people. It's a pretty good sized county and it is continuously growing. In fact, it is the 6th most populated county in the entire state. Yes, that does include counties that also include Philadelphia Metro and also the Pittsburgh Metro area. Even around Harrisburg, which is the capital of the state of Pennsylvania, Lancaster County beats out the Harrisburg area too. So the population is growing, it's very strong. And not only is it growing and strong and there's plenty of people here, but it's also the 4th youngest by median age in the entire state of Pennsylvania. Interestingly enough about that, it is one of the youngest counties. It's also one of the largest by population counties, but it's also one of the best places to retire in the entire country, not just in Pennsylvania. So, it is a really great place to retire. In fact, it was number 1 at one point, now in the number 3 spot. Still, top 3 is not bad, and we'll take that for sure. And we can thank that in large part to some of the fantastic healthcare that is available right here in the Lancaster County area. Now, I talk a lot more about this in my pros and cons video, but I love the diversity here in Lancaster County, and in fact, interestingly enough, it's gotten some not only national attention for it, but international attention as well. So if you want to know more about that, go ahead and take a look at my other video when this one is all finished up. The third thing you should know about when moving to Lancaster County area is the fact that we're very close to some of the biggest cities in the entire country. That I-95 corridor from Washington, D.C. all the way up to New York, very accessible with a very short day trip. In fact, you can get down to Washington, D.C. with a drive of a little bit less than 3 hours. Baltimore's about an hour and a half away. Same for Philadelphia. And then even around New York City is just shy of 3 hours drive as well. So we get that close proximity and day trip ability to some of those big cities, but we don't feel the pressures when it comes to a lot of the pricing and how expensive it is to live in the big cities. We get the best of both worlds being so close to those big cities. The fourth thing you should know about moving to the Lancaster County area is the proximity to some of the bigger airports. So while we talked about the big cities, yes, they all also have big international airports that you can take advantage of as well. But here locally, well, we've got 2 airports that you can jump on and kind of get to pretty much anywhere you want to go. First of all, in Lancaster County, in the bounds of the county itself, is called, we got an airport, it's called Lancaster Regional Airport. And it does have some small service that you can get to Lancaster to Pittsburgh or even Lancaster to Washington Dulles. It's fairly inexpensive and they are round-trip flights. They're not offered every day of the week, but you can have some service out of Lancaster Regional Airport. But for the most part, it's generally for private planes and for small propeller planes that are going through. That being said, just outside of Lancaster County toward the Harrisburg area is Harrisburg International Airport. Now that's a much bigger airport, not quite the size of something like Philly or Baltimore, but a step down from there, still though does offer a lot of flights in and out of the Harrisburg area, and it covers many cities across the eastern half of the United States with non-stop round-trip tickets you can get. In fact, I just did a search looking at some of the flights out of Harrisburg, and you can get down to Mickey's house down in Orlando round trip right now for about $70 for a round trip ticket out of Harrisburg. You can't beat that. Those are some sweet deals. The fifth thing you should know when moving to the Lancaster County area has to do with something that's definitely right up my wheelhouse, and that is real estate. The median home value here in Lancaster County is right about $215,000, and that can get you about a 3 to 4 bedroom house. A very modest home on a smaller plot of land, but it's certainly doable in the Lancaster County area. Now, that is a lot different from some of the surrounding counties, especially as you head eastbound towards some of those big cities, where you go just one county over into Chester County, and that same 3 to 4 bedroom home, instead of being around $215,000, could be closer to $300,000. So a big jump as soon as you cross those county lines. Definitely a step down in terms of the affordability and the ability to afford more home for the same amount of dollar just for being one county over. So that's definitely something Lancaster County has going for it. The cost of living is lower, and that is especially true when it comes to home values. Now, that being said, we have homes of all different types and varieties. Yes, you can get your single family homes, you can get your townhome, you can get homes up over $1 million, even several $1 million here in the Lancaster County area. There are definitely a very healthy luxury market for sure here in Lancaster City and Lancaster County. There's also some pretty impressive condo and condo complexes that are going up all over Lancaster, and that is also thanks to the very successful job growth that is happening in Lancaster County, and also the attractiveness of a lot of tech jobs that are now moving to the area as well, and that means more money coming into the county, and that also means higher overall sale prices for homes in the long run. So again, if you have questions about the real estate side of things, I am happy to answer any of those questions. Just reach out to me any way you can. All right, the sixth thing you should know when moving to Lancaster County is you gotta know what's going on in the entertainment world, right? Well, you know, it's a very healthy thing here in the Lancaster County area. We've got a lot of options for you in terms of things to do entertainment-wise. Now, I want to start with some of the popular ones. There's a laundry list of things we're not going to talk about in this video because it would probably go on for about 40 minutes. We don't have time for that, but I can get some of the highlights and some of the bigger venues and things to do in this area. First and foremost, let's talk about Sight and Sound Theater. You can find this on the eastern side of Lancaster City. Actually a really cool theater. They do a lot of plays, but they actually do a lot more in terms of sensory experience. So you're going to see laser shows, fog, wind, all sorts of types of things. Even some of the plays include rain inside of the stage itself. So very interesting and really cool to check out a play over at Sight and Sound Theater. Another option for you is the American Music Theater. Now, the American Music Theater attracts different types of acts, including comedians, also some pretty A-list celebrities, some concerts, all different types of things. You can go to the American Music Theater's website and check out who's going to be coming here anytime soon. In fact, I just took a peek at that before I was recording this video. Looks like Jay Leno's going to be heading into town. I think we all know who that is. Pretty cool that he's going to be headed to the American Music Theater. Another option for you is the Fulton Theater, and that is in downtown Lancaster. You can get some Broadway-style shows, in fact, some traveling Broadway shows that end up popping into the Fulton every once in a while, and a whole suite year-long of those plays that you can actually get access to, and some very quality plays that happen there at the Fulton. Now, you can get a membership for the Fulton. It's a really awesome scene. It's in a great part of the downtown district, and it's a really fun thing to do for any evening activities. There's also the Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, so if you want dinner and a show, there's an option for you there. And there's a number of different types of venues and things where you can go into Lancaster, some bars, some rooftop restaurants and bars, and a lot of lounges and things in downtown Lancaster. It's a really cool scene on a Friday evening to head into downtown. Lancaster City and even some of Lancaster County, kind of known for the music scene, believe it or not. In fact, we've got a couple of different things that happen on a yearly basis in the Lancaster City area and in the Lancaster County area as well that are pretty impressive. Let's talk about them. Roots and Blues Festival goes on a couple of days during the year, and that is a really fantastic thing. A couple of different spots and venues all throughout the city scattered with some top roots and blues artists that come into town, and you can get a taste of all different types of the Roots and Blues and some of those A-list guys that definitely really put on a show there in the Lancaster City area. There's also the Chameleon Club you can check out, a little more of an alternative scene, less away from the classic, more towards maybe some of your underground type of artists that you may have heard about, but that's a really cool place to check out as well. Lancaster City is also home to a couple of great events, including one of my favorite events to check out, and that's Lancaster Brew Fest, which is a really cool thing. Interesting thing about Lancaster County, which you may not know, but now you do, is that it has one of the highest concentrations of microbrews per capita of anywhere else in the country, and that number is continuing to expand. So if you like the microbrews, there's a ton of options. Brewfest is a really good celebration of that. It happens during the summer, an outdoor venue. You can taste all different kinds of microbrews from all around the region as well. There's also a really cool thing in Lancaster City called First Friday, and that is sort of a shopping and art vendor type of a gallery all mixed into one. Happens on the first Friday of every month, and it happens throughout the year. So there's 12 of them that do happen in the Lancaster City area, and a lot of times when these happen, these shops that are in downtown, they'll drop their prices for a little bit, give you a little bit of a discount on some of the things, and some artists will bring their artwork and their galleries and whatever they're working on out into the streets. Also, food trucks show up for First Friday, so it's a really cool event for families. You can go walk the streets of Lancaster City, which, by the way, very walkable town, and you can enjoy an evening on Friday in downtown. All right, the number 7 thing you should know when moving to Lancaster County is the recreation. Lancaster County, a really great place to be if you love outdoor recreation. There's a ton of things to do outside, and if you're really into nature and hiking, biking, rock climbing, and swimming, boating, whatever the case might be, Lancaster County affords all of those things. Now, the western side of the county is bordered by a very large river called the Susquehanna River, which actually gets slowed down enough that actually turns into some spots where it's more or less a lake at times throughout parts of Lancaster County on the bordering side of that. And so you can get definitely plenty of boating options, swimming options, fishing too. There's a lot of smallmouth bass in the Susquehanna River and really great fishing opportunities that you can check out there. In addition to that, you can do a lot of hiking in the Lancaster County area, and stay tuned because I'm going to be talking more about my favorite trail in just a second. But we've got a number of biking trails, hiking trails. You might want to check out the rail trails, which is a network of miles and miles of interconnected old railroad tracks that basically have been reconverted over to trails. So they're flat, they're easy to walk, they're easy to bike, and you can get over many areas of Lancaster County because now they're all starting to interconnect. So you can go easily 25, even 50 miles continuously without having to turn around and go back the other way. So tons of options there. Now let's talk about that hiking. One of my favorite trails to do is called the Turkey Hill Trail, and it's at the base of the Turkey Hill Ice Cream Factory and the wind turbines that they have there. You climb up this very steep hill, and you can see on the map the trailhead here. As you get to the top, it affords you this beautiful and spectacular overlook of the entire Susquehanna River all the way up to the Harrisburg area, and when visibility is good, you can see Harrisburg from the top of that overlook, and it's just one of the most absolute picturesque spots on the entire county, and really, in my opinion, in anywhere you're going to get in the country. All right, the number 8 thing you should know when moving to Lancaster County is, well, we've got actually a pretty decent shopping and dining scene. So we're going to combine those two things together. Shopping-wise, yes, of course, we've got a mall. We've got all those chain stores that you can find pretty much anywhere else. But what we have that a lot of places don't have, and what we have that brings a lot of people in, are the outlets. We've got 2 sets of outlets there, the Rockvale and Tanger outlets on the eastern side of Lancaster City. And big brands, outlet stores. You gotta love the prices in these places. So you gotta check that out if you're into shopping. You can really get some fantastic deals at these outlet stores, which again, at the Tanger and Rockville outlets, so go ahead and check that out. When it comes to dining, we've got a number of different restaurants. Of course, again, the chain restaurants, you can find them anywhere across the country. And yes, Lancaster has them. But we've also got some very unique restaurants which you will not find anywhere else. One of my favorites, and one I think you should check out, is called Luca. It's got a very unique menu that you're not going to find really anywhere else. In fact, if you go to their website, check out their menu, you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know you could make food that way. But that is the case with Luca. Also check out Decades, which is a really cool restaurant slash arcade, but it's definitely centered and based towards people who, well, kind of grew up with arcades, right? So you've got some arcade games from the 80s and the 70s, some old style bowling alley. You can get some food too. It's a really cool place to check out. I highly recommend it. All right, the very last thing, the number 9 thing you should know about moving to Lancaster County is the one thing that if you're not from here and you think about Lancaster, well, this is usually one of the first things people think about, and that is the Amish community. So the Amish community, definitely very prevalent here. They are incredible people, and what you should know about the Amish is it's definitely a whole subculture in itself, way different than we typically see. Now the Amish, generally speaking, electricity is not something that they are going to be using on a regular basis, and their lives consist, generally speaking, more on the side of agriculture. But when we combine a city and a sprawling county, which is definitely growing, there's definitely going to be some intermixing happening there, and that is what happens in Lancaster County. So don't be surprised to pull into your favorite restaurant or pull into your favorite place to shop and to see a horse and buggy parked next to you, because that's just how it is. And the people of Lancaster County, this is something we accept and something that we have grown to love, and for sure it is part of the entire culture and what makes Lancaster County, Lancaster County. All right, so if you're moving, relocating to Lancaster County, I hope this video was helpful for you to help know about some things that you probably wouldn't find out about until you actually got here. So I hope that was some information that you can use. Now, when it comes to moving here, of course, some of the biggest questions revolve around what are the best school districts? Where's the best place to live? All of those kinds of things. Can I afford maybe the home I had before or the similar style home from where I'm coming from to where I'm going into the Lancaster County area? And for answers to all of those questions, I have answers to those on my website. That's www.mattmorehomes.com. You can check out a lot of the information there, and I would love to get in contact with you as well to be able to help you start that moving process. Again, helping people all the time relocating to the Lancaster area. Very, very comfortable with this area, and I know a lot of information that's certainly going to be very helpful for you as you start that moving journey. So welcome to Lancaster County. It's a great place to live. I want to welcome you personally here, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments section if you're planning on making a visit or if you have any questions at all. I'm here to help you. Until then, thanks so much for watching the video, and I hope you enjoy your stay.